once again from Dubai, the expo here at COP28. Dusk is approaching. We've just come out of a packed business and philanthropy forum here. I'm delighted to be joined by none other than Juliet Davenport, the former CEO and founder of Good Energy and now the president of the Energy Institute. Juliet, hello.
Hello.
Talk to us about the panel you just sat in on clean energy.
Yeah, so we've just been talking about the energy transition, the pace, the new technologies, the new investment requirements, and the skills we're going to need to do that. So I think it's been a great panel just to really give some very different perspectives. We've had hydrogen technology, new investment areas. We've had Mazda, kind of established business, obviously here, 20 years investing in renewable energy, and then sort of I guess I was the one in the middle, thinking about sort of wider aspects of the energy transition related to infrastructure challenges, supply chain challenges, and the skills challenge we're going to run into quite shortly as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a fitting day for you to be talking about it, right? It's almost as if they planned it, because today is the day that they announced here at COP World Leaders to essentially treble the amount of renewable capacity by the year 2030 globally, which is a pretty big deal, big agreement. First of all, what do you make of it? How's that kind of landed with you?
Well, I mean, I think when we look at so one of the things the Energy Institute has done recently is taken over the BP stats review, and in the stats review we published earlier this year, essentially what that's talking about is that non-hydro renewables has got to about 7.5%. So the combination, if you then add hydro into that, you get to about 14% of total energy globally. And so if we're going to triple that, that's a big jump. That's kind of 3 times that, which is like to 45% globally. That's massive. So we're going to need to get a lot of things out of the way, particularly the challenges in the Northern Europe, in developed countries is going to be existing infrastructure that was built in a different paradigm. The challenges in the emerging countries is going to be the fact that we're going to have to bring investment into countries that a lot of investors don't like investing in. So there are some real tensions in there, and I think those were brought out on the panel particularly. And it was interesting because Mazda were basically saying we actually work with those countries that are non-investable for the traditional investors. We try and make sure that this happens. And I actually thought that was an interesting paradigm, because if they can change the way the geopolitics is working and they can invest in countries that other people can't, maybe they create space for new investors to be crowded in.
Yeah, okay. And at a national level then, thinking about the businesses back home that will be tuning into this video, how do we kind of, when we take a global ambition that's stated like that around renewables, what are the kind of key steps or ambitions or actions that you'd like to see businesses in the UK taking to turn the kind of global aims into local carbon actions?
Well, I think one of the things I think increasingly is important for developed countries is to really look at their supply chains. So Scope 3 emissions are a key part of actually where we impact globally as a sort of national country. So that commitment to our Scope 3 and what we are going to do to reduce it really sends sort of signals throughout the sort of the pond, essentially. And suddenly you start to actually get that investment being crowded into areas where we don't directly affect, but we indirectly affect. So I think Scope 3 is really important for UK businesses. And then obviously it would be great to have a set of politicians who had global ambitions. We seem to have stepped back from the global stage in the UK. So if we get a general election, holding our politicians to account about actually what are they going to do on the global stage, and how do we make the UK a real leader again? Because we were a leader, 2008, we were really leading in this sector, but we will fall behind unless we keep pushing forwards, and that's what we need from our politicians.
Yeah. Well, and breathe. I guess that brings today almost to a close. As I say, the night falls very quickly here in Dubai. But there's many more sessions, I believe, that are still to carry on here.
Yeah, there's an entrepreneur session, which I might go back and have a look at. That sounds really cool.
Shortly. Stay tuned to Edie. Much more videos to come over the coming days.